When was your last blood pressure check? I'm pretty sure at your last doctor's appointment. Throughout life, we'll always have our blood pressure checked, and a blood pressure measurement is just the basis to help diagnose as well as treat and help manage hypertensive patients. According to Webster's New Explorer Medical Dictionary and a journal article of cardiac nursing titled The Challenges of Measuring Blood Pressures Accurately, define hypertension as an elevated arterial blood pressure that is indicated by an adult systolic and diastolic reading um, of millimeters of mercury in a sphygmometer, which is known as a blood pressure cuff. Hypertension requires a systolic that has been elevated. A systolic is the numerator of a ratio that tell us how hard the heart is actually working. The range for the systolic is 140 millimeters or higher. Of the two, the systolic is considered the most important due to the fact of the risk and cardiovascular diseases with patients who are 50 years old or older. And this is because of long term buildup in plaque as well as enlarged arteries. A good example to kind of give you an idea of how the flow works is when you hold a when you have a water hose that is flowing and you stop the flow of the water hose, which is the blood stopping in the arteries, and when you slowly open back up your fingers, which is the blood pressure cuff, the blood starts flowing slowly. That's the beats of the heart. Next, the hypertension requires a diastolic that has been elevated. This ranges from 90 millimeters or up, and it is just as important as the systolic as well, because if both are elevated, you risk a stroke. A good example for this is to continue off when the blood actually starts flowing completely through the water hose. That's when you get your diastolic number. So now when you read, you have the top number, which is where the thumping begins, and the bottom number, which is the diastolic, is where it ceases. So basically, hypertension to is just a elevation in the blood pressure that is unhealthy for human beings and could cause various diseases. My name is Raven Tripp.